Cheers, friend.
Hey, here's to it.
So welcome to talking about sports, or should we say drinking about sports, because this has been a long-awaited journey that we've been wanting to take.
And by we, it's Cody who's really been wanting to take it.
That's
but
true.
I'm on board now, and I think this is going to be a really fun night.
Yeah.
Tonight. We've got monitors all over the place.
All over the room. As you said, I'm Cody, and he's Steve. So for those of you that are podcast listeners, I'm sorry for the letdown. This is what we look like.
Yeah,
so hopefully that doesn't ruin too much of the show. But we've been wanting to get together, and we want to have a drunken debate. So you can probably see some cups in the frame. So we're going to have 4 segments, 4 different chapters, videos you can watch, and we're going to progressively get drunker as the night goes on, as we argue about sports and challenge each other to different sports trivia.
Here we have shots that you cannot see. Here we have beer that you can see.
Mm-hmm.
They're not full beers, mind you, because we're old.
It's like beer pong.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
But there's going to be lots of rules. So, Cody, why don't you explain when we're going to drink and what we're going to do?
Exactly. So the first one is, when are we taking shots? So we predicted some NHL finalists earlier in our podcast, and we look forward to this date specifically because this when the Blues that Steve chose to win and the Wild that I chose to win played each other. Now, we thought it was a night game, and it's not. So the game already happened.
We didn't do the right research on that one.
We didn't do the right research. So you probably know what it was. I'm not going to give it away, but a certain team won by a high score. So that's how many shots we have to take, given our team scoring against the other one.
It was 6-3. That was the high score.
It was 6-3.
One of us has to do 6 shots. The other one, I'm not saying who, might have to do 3.
Exactly. So
Carson, our director.
Carson's our director and producer and guy who looks good, sitting there in the corner helping us along, is going to monitor us through and announce when it's time to take a shot to make up for that score.
He just gets to choose any time he wants.
If a buzzer beater, awesome, good start to diction.
A buzzer beater.
Yeah, a buzzer beater.
You have to drink for that,
You have to drink for that because that's a mispronunciation. So that brings me to my next rule, which is mispronunciation, which comes into...
Well, you did it again, but I'm not going to make you drink twice.
So that's an example.
You just said it.
So when you drink beer, if one of your teams, your bracket loses, you're drinking. If you project a wrong fact and Carson catches you, you're drinking. If you mispronounce something, like I just did, you're drinking. If there's an upset win, you're drinking. And brings us to our upcoming game.
Ooh, this is going to be a lot of fun. So, we know all of your brackets are totally shot at this point, just like ours, even though we're near the bottom of our own pool. So what we decided to do is just tear up the old brackets and do a brand new one based entirely around mascots. Which mascot would win in a battle of mascots within an arena?
What we'll do is we're going to have these animals, mascots, humans, whatever they are, battle each other, and then we're going to determine whoever would win in a battle to the death. And then would go on to the next round. So we've taken all 64 teams. I have their mascots right here on a piece of paper, and we're going to debate it. If we ever disagree...
This is what I'm getting at.
Carson is going to be the tiebreaker, and whoever he chooses, the other one must take a drink of beer.
Absolutely.
So this is going to go on throughout the 4 segments of the show. We're going to get through the first round of it in this particular show.
Right.
I will also say this Vandy shirt is I wore on purpose because they have just as much of a chance of winning right now as Iowa State does.
And this lumberjack sexual shirt basically portrays exactly who I am at every moment of my life, and it's the only shirt that I believe any of the listeners have ever seen me in, because it's the only shirt I own.
That's true. So, Steve, I know that my bracket is busted because of Iowa State. Why is yours busted?
Well, mine's not as busted as yours because I wasn't stupid enough to pick Iowa State to win too many games. But I've got a few teams out, and I did just pick Kentucky to win it, which was not very far out on the edge now, is it? So...
Yeah, I mean, I figure everyone's picking Kentucky, so I'll pick Iowa State.
Yeah, that's fine.
And, my mom's from Georgia, so she's mad that I didn't pick Georgia State against Baylor because I was, on the Baylor bandwagon.
Right. Yeah, you love the Baylor Bears.
I do. So anyway, everybody out there, rip up your brackets. It's time to go into the bracket of death. So, Steve, first up is the Wildcats of Kentucky versus the Pirates of Hampton.
Well, Pirates have guns. Wildcats do not. +1 for the Pirates. Hampton moves on.
+1 for the Pirates. Perfect.
Easy.
I agree with that, so there'll be no battle here.
Let's keep going.
Okay, so now we have the Bearcats.
Okay.
Which, I don't know if it's a real animal.
Cincinnati.
Or the Boilermakers.
Well, I don't know what Boilermakers are. They make oil.
Yeah, exactly. So
supposedly Bearcats, yeah.
Got it. Next up is the West Virginia Mountaineers.
Okay.
So just really a guy wearing a coonskin cap.
Well, they might have guns.
And versus the Bulls. So I'll say this. For any mascot that is a human, you get like one object of choice.
Right.
So I'd say he probably gets a musket.
Yeah.
Some sort of like long rifle or musket.
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
So it's going to be that guy versus a bull. He probably only gets one good shot into the bull because he's got to re-rifle it.
Right,
Which is the official verb, I'm sure.
Re-rifling.
But bull's pretty big.
The bull's got the horns.
I bet you can hit the bull in one shot, though. You think one musket ball would
well,
stop the
and
bull?
then, but the plus side of the musket is, don't you have that little bayonet thing on the end?
Yeah, so I guess
that's going to help a lot.
That's true.
So the Mountaineers.
Moving on. Perfect. Moving right along. The Terps, which is a turtle, is going against the Crusaders.
Crusaders.
Christians get a lot of slack for the Crusades, so I feel like they could probably handle a turtle.
I think they could probably do it.
Okay, the Crusaders it is. Next up, the ever-popular nickname Bulldogs versus the Longhorns.
Ooh,
this is one heck of a stalemate because you can't even hurt a Longhorn.
Right.
But a Bulldog doesn't even want anything to do with anything.
Right, it's just supposed to sleep, right?
I feel like if you just pissed off the Longhorn long enough, it just like...
Yeah, the Longhorns have to.
I guess in overtime,
they kind of just have
Longhorn,
to. It's very similar to a bull, though, so we'll just,
a really, bigger version of
very
that. So we'll take that. So Longhorns in a close one.
Mm-hmm.
The Notre Dame Fighting Irish, which I don't know if it matters to put the word fighting ahead of that.
They're angry,
They're
though.
still...
You don't want to deal with angry Irishmen.
Versus the Huskies. If you starve a Husky long enough...
Oh.
Fighting or not fighting, I think the Irishman's going down.
I agree with you. Huskies.
Huskies it
Check
is.
mark.
Next up, the Shockers versus the Hoosiers. Two sort of irrelevant mascots.
Right.
The Shockers is not somebody who shocks the world. It's somebody who shucks corn, so they get like the little corn chucker thing. So it's sharp. It's got some edges to it.
Right.
And it's going up against the Hoosiers, which...
A Hoosier is just a person from Indiana.
And they don't have any tools.
So they've got, to my knowledge, people from Indiana are useless. Shockers it is.
That's a bad way to go out, getting shucked to death.
Yeah, I would hate that.
Anyway, next up is the Jayhawks.
Okay.
I've heard it's an angry bird.
An angry bird.
Versus the Aggies.
They're just an agricultural major.
Yeah, well, assuming they're agging
so they have
for
pitchforks?
Corn. I don't think it's a pitchfork.
No, a pitchfork. They have pitchforks. Yeah, absolutely.
I thought it was more the mining thing.
No. It's agricultural.
Is mining not part of agriculture?
No, mining is... Agriculture's growing stuff, man. Mines are in the mines. You know, they're under the ground.
Oh, mines are in the mines.
You got this.
Got it. That's perfect.
It's gotta be...
We haven't disagreed on one of these yet.
It's the Jayhawks? Have you seen the birds? We're gonna go with...
No, I'm going with Aggies. Carson! Jayhawks or Aggies?
Gotta go Jayhawks.
Boom!
Oh.
Take a beer.
Oh, shoot, I chose it. Yep.
Yeah, you took the wrong
That
one.
is me. Tell me who's next, Ben.
All right, we're going to keep going. We're going to go Badgers of Wisconsin versus the Chanticleers, which, as we've described, an angry rooster.
Carson, I believe it's Chanticleers?
Chanticleers, correct.
Oh, boy.
That's a drink for Steve.
Well, it's still an angry rooster.
Yeah, no matter how angry that rooster is, I'm pretty sure a badger is a bad mofo, and he's probably going to take care of our dear friend the Chanticleers. Though it's fun to say.
Yeah.
Okay, the Fighting Ducks are going against the Cowboys. I'm pretty sure they get like a little revolver.
Yeah, probably.
I'm pretty sure a duck just gets
Cowboys.
a bill, so I'm pretty sure the Cowboys are going there. Okay, the Razorbacks versus the Terriers.
Ooh. I'm going to have to go Razorbacks here.
Was there a pause at all? A terrier couldn't beat anything.
They yip a lot. If it was like a hot dog versus a terrier, I think we would choose the terrier.
You got me there. That's a good one.
That's
Next
what I
up, it's a good matchup. It's the classic Tar Heels, which is some type of ram with oil on its hooves.
I'm not sure that that's correct, but sure.
Probably not. And the Crimson.
Just a color.
Just a badass sounding color.
Wow, this is a really terrible matchup. We're going to have to go Tar Heels because I don't know how a color wins.
I don't know. That color is a darker one. It could really take off one of the Tar Heels, but yeah, I'll go Tar Heels.
All right.
Next up, Musketeers versus the Rebels.
My guess is Musketeers and Rebels both have like shooting implements.
Yeah.
This is a tough one.
This is a tough one.
Just off the top of my head, we're going to go Rebels.
I'm going Musketeers.
Oh,
Carson, the tiebreaker.
Musketeers.
Are you serious? Rebels are from the Civil War, I think.
And who won that one?
But
Musketeers won.
Right,
The
but
three
they
Musketeers
they
won.
had inferior implementation.
The Rebels did not win. Next up, Bears versus the Panthers.
Ooh.
I mean, I just picture a bear being too big for a panther to handle. Unless you think a panther is just going to be... I'm going Bears. Take your time.
Pardon me. I was actually going to go Panthers because I feel like they're quicker. They're going to be all around, and I don't know what's going to happen. All of a sudden, boom, dead bear.
Man, I'm going Bears.
Carson,
Bears.
Bears?
No, wait.
No, I want Panthers.
Oh, nice.
Oh, okay.
What are you going?
Panthers, just because
I appreciate that.
That's like one of my favorite animals.
Yeah.
Gotta go.
Our producer's favorite animal is a panther.
All right,
It's
I'll take
actually a
this.
cheetah, but
So while we finish up the last round, we got Rams versus Buckeyes. So we have a nut, literally, versus an animal with horns. I think that's pretty clear. We're gonna go Rams.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Unless the Rams are allergic to Buckeyes, in which case it could be a problem.
Yeah, but I'm not going to give
And
Ohio State another benefit of the doubt.
Finally, Wildcats versus Tigers. Similar kind of.
Wildcats are useless.
I'm going Tigers.
It's definitely Tigers.
Yeah, absolutely. All right.
It's definitely Tigers. All right, made it through one side of the bracket.
All right, excellent.
Let's shift to some baseball knowledge that only you could know.
Well, I like to say only I could know most of the baseball knowledge in this relationship that we have going on here, Cody. But right now, what we want to do, each of us is going to draft 5 teams. I'll give you the first pick. Go for it.
The first pick?
I'll give you the first pick. I'm giving it up.
Man, what I'll say is I can't believe that the Blues and Wild have taken this long to score. I can't
oh,
believe
look
it.
at that! They just did.
Oh, look at that. Who scored?
The Blues did.
The Blues did?
The Blues scored. That means you
They
have
had
to
an early
drink.
lead?
Yeah.
Yep, they jumped out.
Come on.
There we are.
Come on,
That's what
guys.
I'm talking about.
Lest you forget, they're going to end up scoring 6 times.
I don't want to talk about that part. So, anyway, let's...
My first pick
First pick.
is the Washington Nationals.
Yeah, and so I'm going to guess you're picking the Washington Nationals because they've got the most amazing rotation.
Yeah.
Existent to man right now.
Yeah, their pitching staff is ridiculous. Their lineup is great. Did you know they picked up Dan Ugla?
I did know that, but Dan Ugla is a joke of a Major League ball player
That's
these
still a
days.
nice little pickup.
But, I mean, like,
he's no Chuck Knobloch.
If you have a guy coming off the bench who can potentially hit a couple home runs, I guess it doesn't hurt. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna. That was gonna be my first pick. I won't lie to you. So I'll go ahead and I'll take the Boston Red Sox, and I think this is the exact opposite, right? I'm looking at it from a purely offensive standpoint. This team has Hanley Ramirez, Pablo Sandoval. We got Big Papi David Ortiz still there, living to be 100 and hitting home runs somehow still. And if they can get any pitching at all, along with some young guys, they should be pretty solid. So that's gonna be my first pick. So who do you got second?
Back to me. So I'm gonna stick. You're so much more prepared than I am.
I know.
I will
I've
say
got
that.
like teams
I will
lined
say
up
that.
right
You know
here.
what? This is not going to be a pick that you're going to like
Okay.
because they lost some folks from last year.
Okay.
But I just love being on that Kansas City Royals bandwagon.
You do. Okay.
I really do.
I mean, you love the underdog, and here's why I kind of like the Kansas City Royals.
Yeah?
The reason is they play a different style of baseball than everyone else does. There's a lot of, basically swinging for the fences these days, stay away from the stolen base and the bunt and moving players over. The Royals play a style of baseball that's very station to station. They're trying to move guys up. They're really a team. And I'll be very interested to see what they can do without James Shields, right? So they've got some young pitchers who are coming on right now. But can they be as good? I mean, they're probably losing 5 to 7 wins without James Shields. So
Right.
what are they going to do? But hey, you know what? They won in the World Series last year. Who am I to say no? My next team.
Oh, Wild scored. Look at that.
Oh boy.
Tied it up, baby.
I don't like that at all.
Tied it up. We'll check in with the games because we are looking at the Nova game and the Georgia State game.
Nova's tied up 19-19.
Xavier's got him by 7. No, Nova's just waiting in the second half to break away.
Xavier's down?
Oh, Xavier's up.
They're up. You said
They're
down.
up.
They're up 6.
Sorry.
Learn your numbers.
I just want Georgia State to win.
Anyway, here's to the Blues and the Wild.
Yes.
I hope there's nothing left in there and it gets all over your carpet. I would feel really bad about that, by the way.
Fair enough. Who's your next team?
I'm going to take the Pittsburgh Pirates, of course, because that offense is going to be phenomenal. Gregory Polanco is going to have a great season, and mix him in with Marte and McCutcheon. You've got the best outfield in the major leagues today. And, by the way, keep this name in mind. They just drafted a shortstop. Not drafted. They signed a shortstop from Korea. I'm not going to tell you his name.
You don't know it?
No, I know it.
Oh, okay.
It may or may not come into play later, but I'm going to see if you can remember it.
Nice.
And I think he's going to be that extra piece up the middle that's really going to help this team out. So I'm taking the Pirates, of course, my boys.
That's a bad pick because you could have gotten them later.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Isn't it bad?
Yeah, I'm taking the Blue Jays because I'm also taking offense. And I
Right.
feel like their 3, 4, 5 hitters are going to be solid. I know you're down on them because I know we had this debate before,
Right.
but I think the Blue Jays, they'll probably have to get a wild card because I think the Red Sox are the better team. But
Yeah.
I like them more than any other team in the American.
And I can't disagree with that. They made a lot of splashes in free agency. They can hit the crap out of the ball, and if they get any pitching at all, that's a pretty dangerous team. My next pick, and this is a team that just has some of the best players in baseball. I mean, we're talking Mike Trout, and still an Albert Pujols, who okay, he's not the all-star he once was, but he's still a first baseman that any team would love to have. So the Angels this year can win the West out in the AL and hopefully move on. So that's gonna be my next team.
Angels, crazy.
Yeah.
I may have to stick with the American League and take the Tigers.
Okay.
Just because Miguel Cabrera.
You like the Tiger? Well, I mean that's enough reason for me.
Yeah, that's
right?
all. That's all.
I mean, you've got Miguel Cabrera. You've got V Mart, who last year, he had more home runs than strikeouts. This guy.
Really?
I mean, it was unbelievable. He came off a knee injury and was just phenomenal. And tell you what, if Verlander can be even a shell of his former self, who last year seemed like he was still trying to feel things out.
Yeah.
This year maybe
K'd
he
up
knows how to pitch a
would
little
just
bit.
been a distraction.
That's what it is?
Dude, it would be for me.
I know it would be for you. Yeah, that's just your type of girl, my
No,
man.
that's not true.
He doesn't mean that sugar muffin snuggle bunny or whatever
Alright.
you called her.
Alright.
Okay, I'm going to go on. Here's an interesting team you're probably not going to pick. I really like this team coming in as a sleeper. The Miami Marlins. Okay, so they have Stanton, who they signed to the big deal, assuming he's not flinching every time a ball comes anywhere near his face.
I would.
Should be one of the best players in the major leagues. They've got a great young outfield. They've got Jose Fernandez coming back in the back half of the year off of his Tommy John surgery. Just a lot of young talent, and it seems like this ownership is finally interested in putting together a team that'll stick together. And this might be the first year of not a big dynasty, but like 5-7 years of some really good teams.
Fair enough. I get one more, right?
I believe so.
So I
hope so.
I got one. Yeah, nice. I got one NL team, and I got 3 AL teams.
Yep.
I feel like I should diversify.
Diversify.
I didn't
sure.
fully say it wrong, so I don't feel like it's. I saved my mispronunciation there.
Close.
It was
Yeah,
close.
I'll let it slide. Although the Wild did just score,
The Wild just scored. Yeah, they did.
so
They're gonna score a lot more, Steve.
It was a real, it was an awesome shot. You
He doesn't even know how to narrate hockey at all.
It was a real whirling.
It was
dervish.
It was gonna go as a humdinger.
We're gonna call it a 5-hole.
It was a real whirling dervish.
A humdinger of a 5-holer in Zanzibar. Anyway, that was a perfect stall for me to try and think of another team that I would even want to win the NL.
Right.
So I'm gonna have to take the Phillies. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. So let's see.
Do you need help?
Pirates. No, I might, but I'm thinking it through. I can't take the Giants because it'll pain me way too much. So I'm gonna take the Dodgers.
All right. I mean, that's a solid pick,
Yeah,
right?
I'm gonna take money over everything.
Right. It's ridiculous. Clayton Kershaw. I mean, that's like, if he can perform in the playoffs, they're guaranteed 2 wins a series.
Just a shout out to Hannibal Buress,
No.
who has a joke about him asking his grandmother why she charges so much to watch her grandkids, and she says money over everything. I just stuck in my head. Sorry.
Good little side.
Anyway,
I screwed up that joke too, Hannibal.
No,
sorry.
it's terrible.
It's
That's
a good joke. I just
That was
screwed
a
it up.
great joke. I don't know who Hannibal is. It sounds very
Don't
funny.
know who Hannibal is?
I've never heard of him in all my days.
Well,
29
funny's not your
years.
thing. It's mine.
Oh, please.
Go for it. Who's your last team?
At Cody is funny. That's his Twitter handle, by the way. My last team, the Cleveland Indians. There's a lot of interesting pitchers that last year they had Corey Kluber, who came out of nowhere. They've got Carrasco. Trevor Bauer is one of my favorite pitchers. He's been, he came out of the draft really looking like he'd be a top prospect for the Diamondbacks, and then nothing. But he pitched very well last year, and we'll see what happens going forward. But the whole point is, I think this team can really, really take off this year, and they have just enough hitting to do it. And they've got Terry Francona, great manager, Terry Francona. So that's going to be my 5th team. So we got our 5 baseball teams each. We're going to post those online. And now, why don't we finish up this segment by going through the second half of the first round
Yeah,
for
let's
the
do it.
mascots.
Let's do it. You can play along with us. We posted everything on Facebook. You can find Talking About Sports there on Facebook. But let's finish this up and see where we net out to get to the final.
I like that idea.
Nice. Wildcats, really clever name,
Right.
versus the Raging Cajuns, which is just an adjective before Cajun.
No, I guess I got to go.
Which also feels like an adjective because sometimes you get Cajun shrimp. It's a little
Wild?
spicy.
I guess it's wild.
I guess Wildcats.
Wildcats,
I guess. I mean, the Raging Cajuns is a cool sounding name, but let's not be fooled.
Yeah.
A cat probably eats that for breakfast. Anyway, the Wolf Pack versus the Tigers.
A whole pack.
A whole pack.
A whole pack.
Is going to win a lot.
Boom.
A whole pack it is.
Wolf pack.
Panthers versus the Cowboys.
Again, Cowboys. They've got 6 shooters.
They get one gun, though.
They got 1 gun. 2. You
We're only giving them one article, though. They get one implement.
Well, it's 2 guns.
I know, but it only gets
Both
1.
sides.
Yeah, I know what a real cowboy is. I'm saying for the sake of... Anyway, cowboy?
Cowboys,
All right.
fine.
The Cardinals, this is the best matchup.
Cardinals.
The Cardinals versus the Anteaters.
Wow.
Literally, no one would ever die. This would just be who would maybe survive longer.
Maybe they would
without
both be
food,
going
like-
after the ants, right? And then one's trying to eat a bunch more, and then I guess the anteaters get down to the ants first before the Cardinals get a
Yeah,
chance.
I gotta go Anteaters, but...
Yeah, that's how I was going to say, too.
it's
The
not a good
anteaters,
one.
they've got this survival of the
Oh
fittest
my
thing
gosh.
going.
Let's
yeah.
go alliteration with the Friars versus the Flyers.
What are Flyers?
I don't know what either of these are. I'm pretty sure the
Flyers
Flyers...
are priests.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure Flyers is gonna win.
But
I
what
don't know
are
what it is.
Flyers?
Well, what is a priest gonna kill anyone?
I guess not. Good point.
Flyers it is.
Flyers it is. Absolutely.
Next up, the Sooners versus the Great Danes. This is the tamest side of the bracket.
The Sooners. The bunch of people who drive around in
You know what, though?
wagons.
Well, that's because they really want to go get that gold first. So if they really want to get that gold, and the Great Dane's like the tamest dog ever, I'm pretty sure they're going to punch the
But
dog in
they're
the face.
freaking huge, man. Great Danes. Have you ever seen a Great Dane? They could eat your face in
But they
one
don't.
bite.
But they don't eat faces.
I'm taking the Great Danes.
I'm taking the other guys.
Carson.
Again.
The Sooners versus the Great Danes. Who do
versus
you
the
got?
Great Danes.
Great Danes.
Boom.
This isn't right.
Had a bad
They could
experience with
eat
Great
your
Danes.
This
face.
isn't right.
All right, we're going to keep going. I wish I went to a school with the Great Dane as a mascot. We got the Spartans versus the Bulldogs. I think this is pretty clear. Spartans have swords. Bulldogs do not, or spears or something like
True.
that.
True.
All right, Cavaliers versus Bruins.
So they get a sword, and a Bruin is a big bear. Ugh.
I don't want to face a big bear, no
I
matter
don't
what.
either. Sword or not, ugh.
Yeah, I'll take the Bruins.
I'll take the Bruins.
Seems solid. Blue Devils versus the Osprey.
Yeah.
Devils seem pretty safe.
Devil
on
seems
this
a
side.
little tougher than Osprey.
The Lord of the Darkness versus a
Yeah,
bird. I
exactly.
think we'll take the Lord of Darkness.
Exactly.
Aztecs, completely dead, versus Red Storms.
Yo, but when they were around, they were kicking ass.
But we're talking Red Storm on, like, that's the eye, right? On Jupiter?
I don't. Is it? Oh, that's a good point. I
Yeah.
didn't think of that. But no, it's Aztecs.
You're going Aztecs?
Going Aztecs. They're gonna survive a red storm.
Oh,
Or
yeah.
like, how is the dot gonna get all the way out here to fight
You're
them?
right. The dot cannot get here.
dot
Aztecs
cannot
it is.
get here.
Utes versus Lumberjacks. A person from Utah
versus
a
guy with an
lumberjack.
axe.
A guy with an axe.
Since you're representing the Lumberjacks right now,
We're going Lumberjacks.
We're gonna go Lumberjacks.
Okay, that sounds
all right,
solid
let's
to me.
finish this up.
All right, we're going to keep going. Bulldogs versus Eagles. Eagles can fly, Bulldogs cannot. I take the
Flight
Eagles.
wins.
Absolutely. Mustangs versus Bruins. Once again, more Bruins. We got a horse. Horses are dangerous.
They are.
For women to acetate. Don't go near the wild
But
horses.
it's a bear. Come on.
I said wired. I got to take
There it is.
Yeah, I got to take
Nice
a drink.
pronunciation
Yeah,
shot. That's beautiful. So I'm pretty sure the Bruins are going to win that one. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So now we have the Cyclones versus the Blazers. A cyclone is not a tornado. It's like a hurricane. It's a storm that's over the sea.
It's crazy.
A blazer is a jacket that doesn't look that good on you or I. So I'm going with the Cyclones.
I think I look good in everything, by the way.
You own one piece of clothing.
Like
Coming from
this.
That guy. Next up is the Hawkeyes versus the Wildcats. This is a horrible
A
matchup.
bird versus a cat?
Yeah.
Again, birds? Birds
Yeah,
win?
bird it is. And lastly,
Okay.
Bulldogs versus the Bison. Gotta go Bison.
Bison.
That's it for the first chapter of Drinking About Sports. Definitely check us out the next episode because we're going to get drunker. We're going to get more argumentative, probably more hilarious, probably forget where we are. We're going to challenge each other to a lot of different things. It's
yeah.
going to be fun to check out. We'll keep going with the bracket. Thanks for joining us on the first episode of Drinking About Sports.
Bye.